Hello, everyone. Very happy to be here at this place today morning and with such eminent personalities around. And let us explore certain new things regarding diabetes. Do you know? While we are talking here regarding diabetes, millions of people are suffering not only because of the disease, but they are really have an issues regarding quality of life. So let us join our hands together to improve the quality of life of millions of people. And for there, we have our own IIS, that is International Institute of Solutions. Yes, better than talk about solution rather than discussing about the problems. That is the motto. And mainly growth, but not the greed, is initiative by Arunji Gandhi sir. And the main line that inspire me always is the power of creative giving. Friends, when we are talking regarding this brainstorming session about destroying diabetes or having control on diabetes or reversal of diabetes, we are actually thinking of reducing the pain. And when we celebrated Vasant Panchami, Lord Saraswati, Goddess Saraswati, and we are taking the blessings from her. And let us start for this brainstorming session. Before that, reminds me a Sanskrit shlok. न त्वहं कामे राज्यम न स्वर्गम न पुनर्भवम कामये दुःख तप्तानाम प्राणिनाम आर्तिनाशनम. The same way, the expression growth but not the greed. I don't require any money, I don't require any big wealth, but honest and genuine earnest zeal of mine is to treat or to cure or take care of the sufferers. And with the same motto, rightly the name suggests Arun, which literally destroys the uh, the darkness of ignorance from thousands or millions of the minds, that is God of Sun. And again we will be praying God of Sun, the universal power, to eliminate the darkness of ignorance regarding diabetes. For that, I will request Mr. Jaisal to introduce our own research director, chairman of International Institute of Solutions, IIS, chairperson, Mr. Arunji Gandhi. Please introduce him so we can start this panel discussion or webinar. Mr. Jaisalji?
Yes, thank you, Deyaji. And amazing start. Very energizing. Thank you. And I would like to invite everybody for the webinar, all the honored speakers, panelists, experts with today with us, sharing some great groundbreaking insights. Specifically, we are now targeting reversing diabetes and achieving long-term health. And before we begin, it's my privilege to introduce the visionary person behind IIS USA, the driving force, Mr. Arun Gandhi. And what he says, like the belief that he has making the impossible possible. Arun Bhai has dedicated his life to fostering innovation, creative platforms to everybody, providing and empower individuals to take care of their health, future, and helping communities to grow. I welcome Arun Gandhi for this great initiative. Arun Bhai.
Thank you. Thank you. Such a great honor to have such a fantastic team here. And such a privilege to have all of you on this platform. And, we have a huge initiative, and we are not stopping anywhere. We are totally committed 100%, and if possible, 110%. And there's no stopping. So we are going all out. So that is our whole. We are going with a strong conviction. We can plan, like I mentioned earlier, for 30 years, 40 years, and you have to understand that we are not even close to solution. It's just maybe patchwork, yes, but so we have to decide a totally game changer approach. So it is based on interpretation and implementation. And in both, we are, completely reviewing a whole thing is totally on a different plane. Now, I'll go later on how we are going to get this. And it is not like whether we can get, or is not the question. We are going to get there. So that is our strong, firm determination. So that has to be clear. This message is very important to understand that we are whatever it takes. So that's our approach. Whatever it takes. Okay. Now, this is a uh, outright outright war against the diabetes. I am not settling for anything less. So we will have most unique, never done before approach. And I can guarantee you that I expect we do not we are on a fast track. Our approach is always on a fast track. We are not going to wait for 10 years, 5 years. No, we our plan is more about between 1 to 3 years. On normal project, I believe that we should finish within about 24 to 72 hours. But this kind of project, we are planning that we expect uh, between 1 year to 3 years, and that's a plan. Obviously, we're going to be very unique concept of how do we expand, how do we do unique utilize the technology, and obviously our 5,000-year-old treasure we're sitting, here for West to discover, that is going to change now. So that is the one of the few factors. We are going to completely have a different direction. Now, this first always first two things I believe is two things. One, eliminate the fear and be prepared. That is one. That is the one approach I always believe in. Anything could it be? It could be business. It could be anything. But the core factor, the starting point, has to be always fear and be prepared. That's number one. And then number two is most important thing is setting the direction. We can do anything. We can work 24 hours. We can put all the resources, as we have put trillions of dollars in this, just diabetes, for example. Where are we now? We are still slaves, right? So we need to have a completely new structure. And the new structure would be, like I just mentioned, it'll be fusion of whatever the gold, the treasure we have, utilization, combining the dots, and of course, exploring to the whole global. Is a global thing. So that is the whole core of our approach. Obviously, bottom line, interpretation and implementation. So that would be, and so we are out on a launching. This is a launch or to war against diabetes. So thank you, and I'm really grateful for all of you, great dignitaries that you to be present today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Arunji. Rightly directed towards our informative and brainstorming discussion, and you named it rightly war against diabetes. And we are really brave soldiers here to take this idea ahead, and let us make it very interesting and informative today. When I was thinking, I will like to introduce myself, or anyone else is going to introduce me. Myself, Dr. Madhura Kulkarni. I'm practicing Ayurvedic gynecologist for last 32 years. I've done my MD in gynecology and obstetrics and its Ayurveda stream. So all the time, our Sruja in Bharat, we are focusing on the holistic approach of taking care of the patients, not only by their bodily elements, but the mind and touching the souls. And as a gynecologist, when I look at diabetes, I always think that rightly the prevention of certain predictive illnesses can be taken care by the help of complete holistic approach. And for that, always think that we need to act on three stages: how, when, and what will be the modalities to make a world diabetes free. See, when I'm discussing about this, Dr. Arunji rightly discussing about the project that it will take 1 or 3 years, because when I'm looking at all the panelists here, they are doing their research oriented work for years together already, and even the concept is taking place for lot many years. So I also was thinking about the research or evidence-based experiences in my own practice, which no one will get on Google, or no one will get on the studies. Three major things we have done in our practices. First, we need to prevent this diabetes at the adolescent age. Because when we are talking about the PCOD, polycystic ovary disease, is a uh, diabetes of ovaries, I can say, because it is a kind of thing that insulin resistance will be the baseline word I will like to emphasize on it. Insulin resistance always has a critical or main role creating the diabetic life impossible. So that insulin resistance, because of PCOD, because of deprived cellular level nutrition, we can treat with proper exercises. And our research based project says that castor oil, 0.5 milligram per body kg weight, along with the decoction of dry ginger before menstruation, makes the menstrual cycle or pattern regular. And more regular menstrual cycle releases the insulin resistance. So that is one of the project we took for last 20 years, and we are getting good result with the combination of castor oil and dry ginger. The second most important thing is preconceptional detoxification, because spermatogenesis or embryogenesis occurs when after the conception. First 6 days of implantation are very crucial and important, and before that implantation takes place, there are chances of the problem or deformity in ovum or sperm, and that can carry forward the genetic imprints of diabetes to the future generation. So we need to prevent this diabetes in future generations. We need to protect the sperms and ovum get defected. So we need to do certain detoxification methods, and we have developed a research project named Rutanusara Panchakarma, that is modalities of Panchakarma, premenstrual basti, then emesis or medical emesis or at the fifth day of the menses, and purgative or viration, medical purgatives on the 12th day of the menses when the ovulation is taking place. So this Rutunusar Panchakarma project rightly give a chance to prevent the future generation from getting the inherited diabetes threat. Even during the pregnancy, certain Garbhasanskar procedures are there. I won't explain this in the detail, but we can definitely improve the fetal-placental circulation, and because of that, the fetal will get prevented from the diabetes in its future life. So very important projects, I think, and let us discuss, explore this. And when we are talking about preventing or reversal of the diabetes, these 3 points are very important. Prevent PCOD at the adolescent age, then pre-conceptional detoxification that gives rise to absorption of the micronutrients like vitamin B12 or folic acid that can prevent the fetus from getting defected, certain chromosomal disorders or genetic imprintation genome, that we can like really have a I can say evarishly think we can get it done with the help of holistic thinking and Garbha Samskar. Of course, epigenetics, the science of epigenetic, which can create a beautiful world around. So intrauterine environment is cleared, and because of that positive intrauterine environment, positive health to the fetus, and even for the diabetic patients, we always feel we need to prevent it first, then we need to prevent the complications, then we need to prevent the sugar can should not harm them, because there are many disputes nowadays ki how can we diagnose diabetes, what are the upper limits of the sugar in the blood. So here we are to do a holistic thinking and give a proper approach for the positive health to reverse the diabetes, prevent the complication of the diabetes, and even reverse the diabetes in future generations. Thank you. I think these are the threads I wanted to discuss with you all. And now I will like to introduce our next panelist, Dr. Ashlesha Raut. And I'm very happy that you are here, madam. And you are at Chicago practicing there for so many years and taking this flag of Ayurveda globally so nicely. And we feel very proud that you're a proud Podarite student, the best institution at Worli here. And you are like very bright student from childhood. And really, you are inherited the brilliance, the enthusiasm, and the positive aura from your father. I feel our own teacher and great guide of Ayurveda, Raut sir. So I always remember him while introducing you, and you are doing very nice job over there. You are director of many research institutes over there, and I think I think already you have like brainstormed about the prevention of diseases for many more causes over there. And I will like you to also add certain lines of your introduction, which you feel okay, that audience should know. And let us take this thread ahead of preventing diabetes from epigenetics to the nutrition part, dietetic part, that is a heart of the diabetic prevention or reversal part. Here, I request Dr. Ashlesha, please introduce yourself in 2-3 lines and then just start your talk.
Thank you very much, Dr. Madhura. That was really a mouthful of introduction, and thank you so much for that those kind words. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank IIS and of course Arun Gandhi ji. Thank you so much for creating this great platform for it's truly what I see this here, that you have written. I mean, your logo really shows that you really want to do that selfless service. Giving and not greed. What a beautiful patch line. I mean, I really kind of like sold out there when Dr. Vijay told me that this is what he's doing, and are you available to do this? This is almost 9:30 here, but I'm not 9:30, sorry, 10 o'clock at Chicago. I have practice here in Chicago and Bloomington, 2 centers. I do the Panchakarma practice here since last almost more than 2 decades. And also I'm a program director of a Ayurveda school here in Chicago, which is known as Ananda Ayurveda Academy. So with that, I'm glad to be here and honored to be here with all these great dignitaries and great speakers. Dr. Madhura has really opened the thread fantastically, talking about how it could be applied directly. And as she mentioned that as I'm taking that thread next now, I know my responsibility is to talk about dietary aspect. And let me share my screen and show something which I have created. I would like to, first of all, as I said, that I'm talking about mainly on the dietary approach. And my understanding was mainly that, diet, Ayurvedic diet, when people say Ayurvedic diet, right? We really have to understand this very much, very importantly, that Ayurvedic diet is not something which you think about as a diet which really creates like when you see you go into market, there are so many diets, right? There are Atkins diet, there's South Beach diet, there is so many other diets, and that is not really approach what we take in Ayurvedic diet when I say Ayurvedic diet. And why is that? Is because there is no such thing as Ayurvedic diet. Let me very frankly and openly tell you that there is no such thing as Ayurvedic diet. And it's not really the diet what you think about. And that's why the very important aspect of it is we believe in Ayurveda as a balance is everything. So balance is your health. So what is this balance about, right? Balance, if I'm saying health is equal to balance, means what exactly the balance is. And the meaning of that balance is that everything in your body and everything in your mind also, and as well as soul, when that comes to the balance, that is really the health. Now, I understand this is like a huge, broad thing I'm talking about, but what about that when we come to the individualized person, and when, like, as a doctor, when I'm giving, as a Vaidya, I'm giving somebody something, I cannot just ask him to balance your body, mind, spirit suddenly, and that never happens. So then we have to take an approach of right from the, as Dr. Madhura said, like it is the approach right from the preconception till the whole thing. And that in that aspect, we are taking this approach, we absolutely come to the aspect of the diet. And I'm sure you all will agree with me that in a disease, there are many multiple diseases, but this specifically disease, which we are talking about, diabetes, if you really want to destroy that diabetes, diet is the core thing, extremely important. Certain diseases, it's okay, we can even if not pay attention that much to diet, but diabetes, absolutely, diet and diabetes kind of go in hand together. And that's the reason we have to understand the Ayurvedic diet, where, as I said just a few minutes ago, that there is no such thing as Ayurvedic diet. So then what it is? So it means when we talk about one of the very fundamental principle of Ayurvedic diet is you have to have the right choice of food, the right combination of food, and the right timing of food also. So that is when actually aligns with your bioenergies, which we call it as a dosha. And I'm sure now in US, it's pretty popular that people know what is vata, pitta, and kapha. So when you align these things with them, then what creates is really your Ayurvedic diet. Because there is no such thing as Ayurveda doesn't believe in one size fits all. There cannot be just one thing like this that we can just give it. And so it definitely changes per person. But because we are talking here, and since there are a lot of, I see people, even other than doctors, there are like a general people who are suffering from the dietary aspect, they are definitely want to focus on dietary aspect of health. And this dietary aspect, and how do you concise everything in 8 or 7 minutes to talk about. And as I see a lot of audience is curious about what diet one should do according to Ayurveda, how the diet aspect can be taken care. And so I generally give the Ayurvedic diet kind of like a mantra of the Ayurvedic diet, which I would suggest. And that typical mantra, which you would call it as a that I would say again, the balance. Balance is the mantra. And another very crucial aspect is, we generally say what you eat, you are what you eat. And it's a very popular phrase, and I'm not forming that, but I want to say that is just half fact. It's not the complete truth. The complete truth is basically when you would say that you not just what you eat, but what you digest. So your digestive power really makes a lot of thing here. And how do you protect your digestive fire? And that could be another big lecture. But the very number one thing you must remember, that always keep seriously your the fire, really digestive fire, really up, which we call it as Agni. And now, as to concise all these things, and if somebody wants to really focus on, and that's what I do in my practice also, that okay, we generally go on to the detail of the diet and work on that, but since it's a huge long process and I still want to give some concise things to my audience, then I would recommend the ABC of the diabetic, Ayurvedic diabetic diet. So basically the A stands for actually seriously avoid snacking. So A goes for avoid snacking, means you have to really open your mouth only 3 times for eating. You can open for anything else, but for eating, you must open only 3 times. And that those 3 times could be just breakfast, lunch, dinner. Now, what would you eat for breakfast? What would you eat for lunch? And what would you eat for dinner is a whole another long subject, because it will definitely based on what dosha type you are, where do you actually live, what is your lifestyle, and those will definitely create many things. But in general understanding, if you want to take it, then my strong suggestion would be only 3 times. Now, I understand, I live in US since last 25 years, and I understand that how life could be very fast. And maybe sometime we don't even reach for certain things at certain point in time. And so you have to snack. Now, if the situation is you have to snack, then the best good things could be fruits. Of course, absolutely no other things. So you could have the fruits, that could be best. But I would say if you eat the seeds and nuts, that will be better. And more than that, I would say that the sprouted all the beans, and definitely even the lentils, if you would have that, mung bean sprouts are very popular, you get everywhere, that will be the best. So that approach one has to be having. And then I come to the B aspect of it. So we talked about the A aspect, avoid snack. The B aspect comes as a seriously start thinking about glycemic index. So what is glycemic index? And I'm sure you are aware of, but quickly I just want to tell you that it is a scaling system which has been developed to see how the food enters into your bloodstream and how your blood sugar really rises up. So as you would use more and more low glycemic index food, it will give that steadiness of blood sugar. And there could be many discussions on blood sugar, how much it should be and what range it should be. But one definitely fact is there, that your blood sugar has to be more on the steadier size, then the chances of developing even diabetes is reduced. As well as if you have already pre-diabetic, then there is chances that it will not convert into the diabetes. So go for more and more low GI foods. There are many, definitely it's a very available tool. You can easily go on, and I can provide those tools also, how to find out the glycemic index things. The choices could be really the whole grain aspect, or the legumes, or the non-starchy vegetables. And as we more and try to bring down the more high GI index food, lesser and lesser, the more and more better you could do, keep the steadiness of the blood glucose or blood sugar. And then I come to the third aspect. So A, B, and now I come to the C. The C aspect, I definitely want you to conquer something with absolutely anti-diabetic fruit. And if you're guessing, it is actually nothing else, none other than the power of jackfruit. And I'm not just saying this jackfruit as a, you know, as like a fun. This has been properly researched, very well researched. Not it, definitely it has a low GI glycemic index, and it also has a really very high fiber. The only trick is you're not eating direct jackfruit. You're eating the raw jackfruit flour, which is nowadays very well available everywhere. So green jackfruit flour is being used. Don't start directly eating the right, jackfruit, but I'm talking about the jackfruit flour. And literally, if you would see, there are multiple research studies have been done. Efficacy of green jackfruit fruit has been actually studied even at the double-blind, randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled study has been done. It is also done into the in vitro studies, in vivo studies. So, research are always done in the from the petri dish till the human aspect. Everywhere it has been studied, and it has been seen that it really creates very good positive effect. So, how do we translate that research in our own practice, or how do you make that okay? A layman can actually use this knowledge. The best thing is what I generally recommend is to use only 30 grams of that powder, and you can mix it with your whatever in the rice you're making, replacing rice, and there you can add, or if you are making the wheat flour, in that also you can add this. Maybe use just, the study shows that 15 gram if you would add in the morning and 15 gram if you would add into the evening, that can greatly manage in even in 3 to 4 months. This blood sugar level starts really getting at a good steady range, lower steady range. So it's a very good, promising fruit, which is being really conquering, helpful for conquering. Just to remember that it is a green jackfruit flower and not the ripened jackfruit. As we know that research further says that, and Ayurveda has always said, I said the very first thing is that, you're not just what you eat is important, but how you digest is important. And that's why the digestion is very much, you would see like how the gut health is given such a great importance. And for gut health, obviously, you have to have the sequencing of the whole cleansing body aspect, as well as, developing the clear gut is very important. That's how the fiber is also important. The approach, as I said, ABC, avoid the absolutely snacking, go for the low GI, and try to have the more research fruit, which is actually green fruit, green jackfruit flour, 30 gram per day, and let's conquer the diabetes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ashlesha. Really,
Great. Very
really valuable inputs. And thank you because I know you are nutritional consultant in USA. Along with that, even HHP, Holistic Health Practitioner in USA, and RYT is registered yoga teacher there, and board certified in BCIM member also. So I think all these things really matters, and because of that the presentation was very useful. You see, then practical tips, rightly jackfruit was emphasized. And for metabolic disorders, there is latest research is coming up for fatty liver disease also, because diabetes amongst the umbrella of metabolic syndrome or diseases, and jackfruit flour is rightly used for fatty liver diseases. So that was a great input by you. Now I invite Mr. Jay here, and always I think you rightly said about the absorption, and but many micronutrients or other minerals we always ignore regarding when we practice or treat the diabetes. But here, as a holistic approach, we are here happy to welcome Mr. Jay, and he will be emphasizing on role of minerals in prevention and reversal of diabetes. Very interesting topic and a unique concept. Jay Armanto is a certified health coach with over 13 years of experience in holistic wellness, specializing in nutrition. Mineral supplementation and frequency-based healing technology is his core topic and subject, and he has been educating about and creating health awareness for like many years in US, and he's guided by the teachings of Dr. Joel Vella, and again his expertise in PEMF, that is pulse electromagnetic field therapy, that is also a different unique concept. So I think world is looking forward the different modalities regarding taking care of diabetic patients. And Mr. Jay, we are hoping that your inputs will be definitely you are really again a brave soldier your inputs are important to fighting against this war against diabetes. So we welcome you, Mr. Jay. Please start your talk.
Thank you very much. That magnificent introduction. That's best ever. And also, I just wanted to mention this is not for religious purposes. Actually, my hat here, it's actually a beanie that's got silver inside. So I became sensitive to frequencies actually about 10 years ago. So it's got silver and it actually blocks out things like Wi-Fi and so on. So when people ask me if my foil hat is on, I always say it's always on. I just not too tight, hopefully. But yeah, so that's what I got on here.
Yes.
Helps out. So basically, I just wanted to kind of throw out there that this it might seem a little different, this angle where I'm coming out here, but I think you guys will like it. Let me pull up the slideshow here. Dr. Joel Wallach, I'll just start talking at the same time. He actually is a veterinarian, or was a veterinarian first, and then figured out that it was there were a lot more solutions, it seemed, in the animal industry than in the human industry. In the animal industry, they seemed to actually just kind of fix the problem instead of just kind of having people keep coming back to, the doctors and, getting charged insurance and these kind of things. So that's kind of his perspective. So I think it'll be kind of extra interesting. But yeah, this could probably easily be about an hour's worth. So that's going to be the struggle here. But let's see how we do here. Okay, can everybody see the screen?
Yes.
That's it. Okay, great. So title here, how traditional cooking methods and minerals may hold the key here for our war on diabetes. Let me just start off here real quick. So with kind of a wide view. So to get a look at diabetes here, 800 million people worldwide right now are affected. Basically have diabetes right now in India. 212 million people have diabetes, 136 pre-diabetic. So you're looking at 1 in 4 Indians right now with sugar issues. And if those 136 turn into full-blown diabetics in a few years or so, that's 1 in 4. So this number also has doubled in the past 30 years. So just a little bit about that statistics, very big stuff. And I just wanted to touch real quick to kind of put a little bit of a picture to what we're looking at with diabetes. It's not really like death by diabetes. A lot of times when these deaths happen, it's about 2 million deaths a year. Also, it could be from a stroke, heart attack, all kinds of complications. So it's kind of a tricky thing, this diabetes. So very, again, we want to give credit to our founder, Aaron, for calling this a war on diabetes. It's really replacing this war on diabetes. It's a really rough disease and kind of hard to put our finger on it, it seems. And it just seems like a light thing, like just sugar. What's the big deal? But okay, here's where I think it starts to get extra interesting. And I just want to frame this presentation a little bit. Aaron, our founder, he kind of gave us a kick yesterday and said, we need action. We need to take some action for sure. He said, everybody, let's give people something we can do. So I'm going to spend the first part of this, first 3 quarters, establishing a little credibility about this. And in the end, it's going to be the action point. Anyway, so here, who to blame for this whole diabetic problem? Here we got, I kind of drew out this here, lack of exercise, sugar. And then those I think are the usual suspects. I think usually everybody's looking at those things, what I see on the news a lot of times. Where I want to focus is this guy in the middle, mineral deficiency, because I think he's actually the biggest criminal and he's off scot-free, on an island somewhere and no one's talking about him. So minerals, the missing link. So I want to quickly touch on this research done by Dr. Joel Wallach, or led by him, back in a few decades ago. A $25 million study today would be worth $200 million. And basically, he and his team discovered that every living creature needs 90 essential nutrients that our body does not create on its own. So he calls them essential nutrients. And the lion's share there you can see are minerals, 60 minerals that we need to ingest every single day to get optimal health. And without those 90 essential nutrients, we can get up to 10 diseases for each one of those missing nutrients. So very big thing there. And just to kind of give a little bit of character to the minerals that we're going to talk about, you might think of minerals in our body. You know, we hear about copper and calcium and stuff. You might think of them as like little computer parts, like little pieces of metal that'll actually conduct electricity and pass electricity through our body, right? So if you can imagine your iPhone, for example, if you opened it up and took a little piece of metal out of there, what do you expect might happen? Probably, you know, something bad. And if you kept taking things out of there, you know, you wouldn't expect it to function perfectly, just like us, kind of thing. And here's just a book by Robert Becker talking about how electric we are. You can see the salamander there regrowing its arm, and they linked voltage to it regrowing its arm. So just to say, we're very electric, and minerals are a big part of us. Oh, to just stress real quick on two of my favorite minerals here, just to show the power of these minerals. In the 1950s, 125,000 turkeys dropped dead of ruptured aneurysms. And the pathologist on duty noticed that it was copper, a copper deficiency that was doing it. That was his determination. So the next year, they doubled the copper, and 500,000 turkeys, none of them had an aneurysm, just for increasing the copper. Also, we have selenium here. So this one, Dr. Wallach was involved with, and basically, sudden infant death syndrome, it was the #1 cause of death in infants from 0 to 1. And basically, everyone thought it was just infants that were suffocating in their sleep. And he said it was a selenium deficiency that was giving these babies cardiomyopathy heart attacks. So he actually successfully sued the FDA and forced them to put selenium in the infant formula. So that's how, you know, he was able to prove that case of selenium, you know, being a part of that. And to this day, the FDA will still tell you that it's about the baby suffocating, but they did give him at least that much credit. So just to show that sometimes the mainstream ideas, they won't always tell us just how powerful these minerals or anything is. They will stick to their story, unfortunately. So we pretty much have to have an eye out. Okay, so what do these minerals look like on a large scale? So I wanted to talk about the blue zones real quick. There was a study, National Geographic in the 1970s. They did a study on the 8 largest or longest living cultures in the world. And they were all third world countries, really the top 8. And basically, I just put 4 of them here. We got the Hunzas, some folks in Ecuador, Georgians. And basically, what they found, they studied, okay, so I want to also talk about these people to say we're going to get to diabetes here right after. But these people live the longest. These blue zones, they call them blue zones because they have the most 100-year-olds living there. So the healthiest populations on the planet, right? So basically what they found, they study, you know, how do they go to the bathroom? How do they drink and, you know, exercise and all that? And the main thread that they found here was that everybody was getting minerals, some type of a rich amount of minerals in their diet somehow. And the most popular one was really glacial runoff. So all of these populations, they had glaciers that would rub up against mountains and absorb minerals from those mountains, and that would find its way into their rivers and into their crops, and they would put it in their salt and put it in their tea. So all these people were very rich in their minerals. So you might ask, what about the rest of the world? How do we get our minerals? You know, they're so essential. Well, for the large majority of us, it's actually been historically, we would cook with wooden stoves, heat our homes with wood, and we would get those ashes and put them in our gardens. And then we would, you know, plant crops in those gardens and sell them and eat them. And that's how we were getting our minerals, a lot of times accidentally or not even knowing, that we're getting these essential nutrients. So this quote here just means, states, when Thomas Edison started up the electricity for us all, we all started switching to electric stoves. But you might ask yourself, how many minerals are you going to put into your garden when you're using an electric stove? Answer is pretty much zero. So we all stopped getting minerals in the late 1800s. And so let's see. So I did a little bit of research on my own with this theory here. And you can see some traditional cooking in India there on the left. And what I did is I looked at Indian populations, the populations in India right now that have the most diabetes and the least amount of diabetes. So, and I wanted to test this out and say, I think the people that are cooking traditionally have the least amount of diabetes, and the people using electric cooking have the most. And sure enough, the data showed it. You can see the people on the left. If you see the red line, that's diabetes. On the right side there, that's diabetes up in the 25%. The blue line is how much traditional cooking or how much modern cooking they're using. Basically, the more modern cooking we do, the more diabetes we get, because we're not putting the wood ashes into our gardens and getting those minerals. Here's a little bit about the Amish in the USA. You can see the red line again is diabetes. The blue line or the blue part is them using electric stoves. The green line there is actually obesity. So you can see obesity follows right along with it. And here we have the Pima Native Americans, just another one here in the USA. Same genetics. It's an interesting one. They were just on opposite sides of the border, one on the Mexico side and one in Arizona. And you can see that the only difference was the way they cook their food. And that's the diabetes, and that's the obesity as well. So that's basically the case there. That if we're not getting our minerals, we end up very sick with diabetes. Very different approach. And, also our founder, Aaron, stresses on us to bring clarity in what we do for sure. So I thought I'd make an illustration here of what diabetes actually looks like, a picture, so we can actually, visualize it. We talk so much about it and the moving pieces and all. I'd like to illustrate them. So basically, this had some help from these actors here. I like to think of the insulin receptors. Well, put it this way. Glucose, let's say we eat a candy bar. Now we've got glucose there in the hallway. He's got to get inside of our cell. He needs to get past that insulin receptor to open the door. And insulin is the key. Okay, we're all following that. So this is normal, right? He's got a nice looking key and all that stuff. Here is a bad situation. Here is diabetes, how I would draw it out. You can see all the glucose is piling up. That door used to be a nice keyhole there, is now rusted. It's all messed up. So we call that insulin resistance. So that's what happens. Basically, our receptors start to not receive our insulin so easily. All kinds of things can cause that bad insulin resistance there. Lack of exercise, age, so many things that we'll talk about. But the point is, we can't get in the door. So here's where the minerals come into play. You're on this next slide. I just wanted to mention the pancreas. They're working hard, making more and more keys. And, over time, that pancreas is just going to die out or not make any more keys, or very few of them. So it's a pretty tough situation. Okay, so here's where we get to these two key minerals here that are really the MVPs and what we're talking about out of those 60 when it comes to diabetes. So if you see that keyhole right there against the door, that same rusty one, these two minerals, chromium is one of them. Chromium basically acts like your WD-40 grease or, some oil. That chromium is basically going to free up that keyhole there, loosen it up so your insulin will work. So our insulin receptors are not working very well. Imagine they're rusted. Chromium is going to fix it so where we can receive insulin properly again. Okay, so that's one part. Many other things do this. Chromium is just very, very good at doing it, and like the best mineral at doing it. Vanadium now is the other one, and this one is actually Dr. Wallach's favorite one, and you'll probably see why here. So basically, what I put is an automatic key there, an electronic key for vanadium to represent it. Basically, what that means is vanadium has the power to bypass that keyhole altogether and open that door, just like you would open your car with your remote. Even if you are insulin resistant, vanadium does not need to go through those receptors. It doesn't need to use that keyhole. You can just take the vanadium and it'll automatically open the door and take the glucose to where it needs to be in your cells. This is what a successful part looks like. And yeah, I don't know if I'm out of time here, but yeah, I think I am. This is basically just Dr. Wallach here talking about. Sorry, Dr. Wallach there talking about how he had a wager with the guy from the this guy named Jerry Murphy, who owns a bunch of hospitals and stuff, and he basically bet him that he could cure his diabetes, and he reversed it, and then he also reversed diabetes for about 400 people in LA. So basically, this is his protocol, and I know I'm out of time now, but it's a couple of minerals and a few Ayurvedic herbs as well, and this gets you started. So just contact us. We can tell you more about this kind of stuff, and also to stop eating gluten, so that way you can absorb the minerals properly. Okay, that's all. I'll just go ahead and close that now.
You know, that was a terrific new angle that we brought, Jay. Excellent
Yes.
presentation, and it made a lot of sense because this, particularly today's, was about setting the direction. So that's, you nailed there, right? Of setting the, I would say, additional of, for some of us, new direction. So that was a very to the point. Great job.
Garimaji, welcome here. Garima, just stress of technical problems. So we are here to discuss about stress management. Sometimes this happens. So Dr. Garimaji is an Ayurvedic doctor and certified health coach, counselor, and she will enlighten us for the stress management module of diabetes. She is Master of Science in Medical Sociology and Bachelor of Ayurvedic Medicine and Surgery from the State Ayurvedic College, Varanasi. With over 15 years of experience in Ayurvedic medicine, she has dedicated her career to integrating the time-honoring principles of Ayurveda with modern healthcare practices to address holistic wellness. She is practicing in the United States as certified health coach, actively working with individuals and communities to promote preventive care and stress management. She has also been deeply involved in clinical research, volunteering with renowned institutions such as UF Health and Volunteering Medicine, showcasing her passion for advancing evidence-based practices in healthcare. I welcome you, Garimaji, here, and please start with your presentation. Garimaji.
Thank you, Madhuraji.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, IIS. Thank you so much, Arunji, for introducing me and to give me this platform.
Yes.
Without further delay, I will start my presentation. So let me share my screen. And I can make sure that I will not give any stress to anyone. Try to reduce the stress.
That's your expertise, right?
It's trying to be. Okay, everyone can see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So today my topic is stress management. I took this topic because stress has become a part of everyone's life in some or another way. We can see the technical glitch, which can also be a part of the stress. But the simple thing which we can do at that time, be calm, and how Madhuraji did, and take a breath and give some time. And you have to give some time to yourself to relieve that stress. You can't be with that stress for a longer period of time. We have alternatives, and we can surely come up with all the alternatives. Okay. My second thing is which I'm showing here is the data from the American Psychological Association. Why I took this data, because I just want to keep a notification on everyone's mind that how the stress is causing effect in such a lower age group. Can you see that 18 to 34 years of age group is having the most stress symptoms? This group, and how Mathuraji also talked about that how preconception is needed, and that is why preconception is needed, because when you start this thing at this lower age, that problem will become a complication at the age of 44, and that can be a disease, or you can get a heart attack at the age of 65. I'm not scaring anyone, but I'm trying to say that it is best to start taking prevention and start taking the action. The thing here is most important is how the people talked about the answer. You can see the people said that we are feeling numb and we feel like we can't function at all. The most important thing which I want to focus here is people really don't want to talk about stress. When you will not talk about the stress, you can't get the solution. You have to talk about the problem and if you want the solution. And diabetes is one of the stressor. Diabetes and stress are together, they work together actually. They are interrelated and they increases each other. Stress hormones increases diabetes and diabetes increases stress. If you can't control the diabetes, the stress will be really high. Okay, so what is going on? There is a lot of pathophysiology and psychological factors behind it. But the main thing which happens is the decrease in the perfusion to the tissue. What I'm talking about, the perfusion, is the blood supply. Perfusion means the oxygen. Perfusion means the nutrition. Everything, this is decreasing, and we are talking today on the same line. What this perfusion is causing, if you have a less perfusion in that area, what will happen? Your inflammation will increase. And when the inflammation increases, the cell start dying. The cell start not functioning properly. Okay, this is just a thing like how this negative and positive thinking actually is affect your whole body system. So happiness, for sure. When you are happy, your cardiovascular system improves, your brain functions improve, you function better. So everything improves. On the same time, when you have a negative psychological health, when you are anger, and when you are having anxiety, they all decreases your thing. Coming back to the Dr. Akhlesha, she talked about that when we are eating, we should eat 3 times in a day and we should keep our mouth shut. And I will also add on to that whenever we are speaking, we have to speak positively. If we are not speaking positively, we are totally hampering the effect on our cardiovascular system. Thus, the main function is the stress management, which we are here for. The stress management for the physical, if you can say that whatever physical condition you have and what stress management you can do for it is the herbal medicine. There is a lot of Ayurvedic formulas which we use. Ashwagandha, we use a lot of time. We use Brahmi a lot of time. But yoga has proven be a good stress relieving thing. Proper lifestyle and diet, as we talked about, and massage. Massage has also been a very good stress management thing. We suggest patients to do a daily massage in their feet or put a nasya oil in their nose so that they can have a better sleep quality. And when the sleep quality improves, the stress reduces, or you can say the coping to the stress improves. Exercise have been always like that. It's been a best stress management. But how to reduce the mental stress? These all things, like sometimes when you feel physically dull, you can do all these things. But to improve your mental power, meditation, journaling, prayer, and even the believing in yourself, socializing during the any activities, talking to anyone whom you like the most, whom you can trust the most, you can talk to them, and you can go into those type of organization where you can socialize with someone. That will be best tool for you to relieve your stress. My main focus today is on the support group. I will talk about it later, but yes, support group is really needed. The second thing is the pet therapy. It has been proven in a lot of researches that if you have a pet, you can believe on that pet. And that pet can helpful for your stress management. This is again a data from a research, and it is saying that how the 10 days meditation has has shown a lot of reduction in the stress. And along with that, it has also shown how much there is a reduction in the irritability content. And if you are consistent with that guided meditation, in 3 weeks, there is an increase in compassion, and compassion improves the vasodilation. And when there is much vasodilation, your blood will be flowing properly and you are getting proper oxygen. And when you're getting proper oxygen, you will be getting proper nutrition and your cell will be getting all the digestion and all the metabolism will be perfect. And that is all we are talking about today. Okay. There's a reduce in the aggression level, even the absentee level decreases, the productivity increases, and the injuries decreases. Okay, sorry, this one. There's an anxiety scale. When we talk about any of the research, we all the time put our research or the data on the scales. And this is another anxiety scale, which is showing that before the treatment, you can see that how much is the stress level. That blue line shows that how much was the stress level. And when they start using all those therapies, the meditation, the biofeedback, the CBT, yoga, exercise, they all are the things, when they start using it, how much is the reduction in the anxiety level. Today, the takeaway today will be the step to the stress management, how we can start working on it. So first thing first for everything is to find the stressor. What is causing the stress? What is the main cause of the stress? When you will find out the stressor, you can start working on it. So in our medical field, we say there's an ADPI. ADPI is assessment, evaluation, planning, implementation. So the first step is the assessment. When you will assess the thing, and that's what you can do by yourself. You can feel, okay, in this condition, I feel stressed. I have to be calmed down. Then when you will find that a stressful condition, then you can start using the strategies to cope with it. There are so many available resources online and even in person. We can help you out, guys, to cope up with this stress. Evaluation, and then you can start planning how to implement the solution. So the first step is to find the stressor. This is a small type of a chart, which is a key takeaway also, because you can find this type of charts very easily on internet, and you can start charting your level of relaxation, how much you relaxed you are. And this will help you in a first step to, okay, I am relaxed in this condition, but I'm not able to relax in this condition. I can be a very good, I can manage my time very well in this condition, but I can't manage my time very well in this condition. So this will help you to put yourself into the chart, and you can, okay, I am doing this better. And when you will start practicing those stress management techniques, any of the yoga or exercise or meditation, then you will be able to chart yourself again, and you will see there how much difference is there, and that will help you out. Although there are so many different stress management techniques, but yes, exercise has been on the top for most of them. Therefore, mindfulness is another technique with which you can reduce your stress. And the cognitive behavior therapy. The cognitive behavior therapy is just a therapy in which you change your negative thinking into the positive thinking. So they are trying to change your negative thinking into the positive thinking. And that's what they work with you. And that helps you a lot in increasing that perfusion and reducing the inflammation in your body. Why it is not moving? Okay. Yeah. So the next thing is the benefit of the support group, and which I told you that is really, really important. Why support group? Because you want to be on the track. You don't want to be away from the track. When you are on the track, you can surely achieve anything you possible. Like the topic of today is the destroying diabetes, or you can only achieve, or you can just destroy any disease when you are consistently working on that disease. If you lose your motivation, if you lose your way of treating your disease, you can't work out, or you can't destroy that disease, or you can't help yourself out to come out of those disease. So support group is really needed. Why support group? Because support group is a place where you will feel trusted, where you will feel that no one is judging you. Support group is a place where you will feel that people, all the people in that support group are the sufferer. They have also been in the same stage in which you have been, either more or either less, but they have suffered the same condition which you are suffering with. So support group surely helps you to maintain you on your path. It is a safe place to share your experience, to share your frustrations. Support group means creating a group of people who are having the same type of disease, or who are having the same type of symptoms, where you can talk freely. And when we will talk about our things, we reduce our stress. So that is really important. Key takeaway from my talk, that start finding your stressor, try to do the deep breathing exercises, try to find a support group which can help you guys to keep you on track. And if you have all these three things in line, you can surely help yourself to destroy this diabetes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Nicely explained, and really stress is reduced.
Can I have one single, my 2 cents?
Yeah, please.
One of the most powerful tool that I have encountered in the world, which works anytime, is positioning. That's a one-shot
Perfect.
solution.
Perfect.
You position under anything. Say, for example, any problem. If you're positioned well, you can make the problem totally on a very negligible. So, at any level, you take any problem or any situation in the world. If you're positioned well, I guarantee you that 90% of the solution is right there. And I'm implementing on an everyday basis in every level. It could be it on health, be it on mind, be it stress, be it business. And it's a magic thing. Anyway,
Really.
that's my 2 cents.
Yes. And I will request Dr. Naveenji Gupta for the next presentation. As yes, Namaskar. Naveenji is here, Professor Naveenji Gupta, and his presentation will be regarding steps towards reversal of diabetes. Harley Street Healthcare Group PLC and London School of Ayurveda, United Kingdom, is from this institution. He has done his graduation of Ayurveda. He started his learning of Ayurveda at early stage of 16 years of the age, and completed his masters from Delhi. He did his graduation from Delhi, Bharat, and he is into the Ayurveda education for last 4 decades, and his main basic core interest and expertise is in mentoring Belgium, Netherlands, Germany, many countries. He just mentor about healthy lifestyle, health, and treating diseases. And his core interest is to same way how we are conducting today's webinar. So he is into creating new direction, new steps for the diseases. And here I present Dr. Naveenji Gupta for his presentation here. I request him to start his presentation regarding the new thinking about the reversal of diabetes. innovative and new thinking. Dr. Naveenji Gupta.
We are discussing here the old paradigm and the new paradigm. The old paradigm is built on a series of beliefs and assumptions which reinforce the common sensory experience in diabetic management. And the new paradigm is built on insights from the quantum physics and the neuroscience, as well as cognitions of Vedic seers, Ayurveda acharyas on diet, food, drinks, sleep, sexuality. Every single thing matters. And it was so beautiful presentation by Garima, by Madhuraji, you, and Jay. It was beautiful, and we had lot of formulas, so which are going through. Then he explained about the traditional way of cooking, which is completely missing. Even in India, it is missing more than anywhere else. In fact, if we talk about sometimes, let us say once a week or twice a week, we do traditional cooking. We cannot do all the time 7 days. So what I want to say here, in diabetics, there are a few things we have to understand clearly from the Ayurvedic perspective, that there are wrongdoings and there are right doings. And in the wrongdoings, in diabetic especially, there are many ideas which will go through. These are the wrongdoings, and many ideas which are the right doings. And Ayurveda is there. There is a field, and Ayurveda is there to address that field where between the wrongdoings and right doings. So we understand the etiopathogenesis of diabetes very clearly. So if we address each and every aspect in the food, sexuality, in the sleep, so we cannot. So what my idea was, directly coming to because I have 8 minutes, and then I want to. I've already taken few minutes before because I could not fix myself, and then I would like to say like this now. It's a need of the hour. The Arun Gandhi ji, it's need of the hour that we establish a diabetes lab. In the diabetes lab, we have a sleep lab, we have a sexuality lab, we have food and drinks lab, and we assess our patient on many levels. And when Jay was talking about so many minerals, it's indeed. But what about the absorption of these minerals? So the concept of Agni in Ayurveda is the main concept. If I address my patient, forgetting about the patient is diabetic or with stress or with any single disease, if I focus my attention to the Agni, how I manage or balance the Agni, Dhatva Agni, and I mean, a lot of people will not understand my Ayurvedic words, so I'm sorry about it. But there is a fire of in the tissues. There's fire of the 5 elements. There's a digestive fire. So all this, and then bridges between this fire. If we are going to address all these points very seriously and establish a complete diabetic center in the US maybe, or in India or in Europe, and in fact I started at 4:30 here, and 3:30 is the first time I wake up at 3:30, and still I could not manage good. But I would like to stop now, and I would like to take the message from Arunji. So what is the next step towards that? For me, the next step towards that is to establish an Ayurvedic diabetic clinic. We can have multiple. So I just prepared one sentence, then you will understand what I was doing today for this. The patients under multiple systems of medication may have concerns about the possibility of the occurrence of polypharmacosis. Many people all over the world who are coming to Ayurveda especially, they are suffering from this condition, polypharmacosis, because they are taking multiple medications by in which the benefits are exceeded by the clinical or financial costs, resulting negative or untreated unrealized beneficial outcomes. So we have to really take care that it should not be over minerals in the patient, although chromium, zinc, copper, every single material. So if you go back to the nature, like we used to drink the water from the copper glass in the morning, that itself was giving us copper, and then cooking our food in the iron utensils. It was already giving, and cooking the milk in the earthen utensils. It was already the absorption factor was taken care in the traditional cooking. So with these words, with beautiful presentation of all of you, Garimaji, Madhuraji, and Ashlesha was very, very nice. And then and what more to speak? Everybody was very, very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Navinji. Two things I want to bring to your to respond. Number one, the WhatsApp that you sent a few days back was to the point. You had nailed it so good, very impressive. That's number one. Number two, I am 100% with you on the point that you made. It's in the process for your information.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and the first phase will be ready in 6 months, and the final result you will see within 1 year. So we are already on the move.
Yes. So then we all will come together in that particular place where you will create a center, and we all will have our individual lab in this place, and the patient will go with certain things, and we'll make a full program for the patient, including the treatment package and assessment package. And diabetes is not coming. Diabetes is not a disease itself. Nothing. It's
Not
nothing.
at all.
Just few things have to be taken care, and everything can be managed easily and reversed easily. And even to the yes.
Yeah, exactly my point. Yeah, please
It's
go.
not a killer. It's not a killer. It has
Not
been
at all.
it has been overdoing. So we will do the right doings, and we will take all the wrongdoings out.
See, one of the biggest factor in a war is not just doing it, but also destroying it. Then
Yes.
only you can get the complete result. If you're
That's why
focusing,
you are
do
Arun
this,
Gandhi, I'm Naveen Gupta. So I know only wrongdoings and wrongdoings and thin line between that. But you want to destroy this. So okay. But after destruction, a new construction comes. Lord Shiva
Exactly.
comes. Lord Shiva
Exactly.
will come there. Lord Shiva job of Lord Shiva is to destruct for a new construction.
Exactly. That exactly our motto.
Thank you. It was really rejuvenation for our webinar with your presence, Naveenji. Naveen, rightly, new things will be coming up soon. So let us go forward with our webinar. And I will request here Dr. Vanita Sharma, the power of womanhood, Vanita itself. So she will be talking about, again, epigenetics in a different angle, because we are not like giving up on the roots. So I welcome here Dr. Garimaji. She's a successful entrepreneur, traditional Indian Ayurveda and yoga practitioner, and a very nice writer, based in Australia. She is known in Australia, face of Ayurveda and Vedic sciences. So very proud of you, Dr. Vanita. And she's the CEO, founder, owner of Vibe Ayurveda and Urja Ayurvedics. So she is doing certain volunteering research things also. And I will request her that please go ahead with your presentation, and we are waiting for your inputs, madam.
Namaste, everyone, and thank you for the special thank you to Dr. Vijay Kushwaha-ji, Arun Gandhi-ji, and Madhura for moderating, and introducing all of these legends. I was quite impressed, and I'm still can't get out of that awe, of having such a wonderful presentations, such informative sessions, and I just feel if I can learn, probably how many people would have learned, and I would really suggest and recommend, even to share this, video, actually the recording, with the people, because I believe, we do understand quite a lot of things, like being from the medical field or the health field, and we understand the terminologies and all that. But what I was I wanted to comment was, it was such a wonderful presentations that any layman even can understand what was explained and expressed through the slides. So thank you very much for myself to be able to come today and present as well, and being part of this Legends team. And thank you to IIS and Dr. Vijay, but wonderful presentations by Dr. Roth. I loved the concept of ABC within her talk, and I took some key points, even from talking about essential minerals that are required by Jay's talk, and even importance for the women, in the pregnancy, by Dr. Madhura, as well as with Garimaji, and Dr. Naveen Gupta ji. He's always a shining star, and there is no doubt about it. And he just rules over everyone, every time. And I'm so privileged and lucky to be part of this seminar or webinar. And I would say that what I'm talking about is completely the sum up of all the talks that has been done so far. And epigenetics has a great big role in the reversal of type 2 diabetes. And I'm talking how epigenetics and Ayurveda are related, and can we change the genes? Can the genes be changed? So I hope my presentation is visible, and audible. Is that Madhuraji?
Yes.
Jasu?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Can you see my presentation? Okay. All right. All good. And so the first thing is first, because as we all mentioned, how what's the root cause of all the issues, and mostly as was spoken about the stress management, because as we all understand, that 90% of the conditions are caused because of the stress, and whether it's diabetes or whatever. And I agree with the point that we don't call them as a disease, because it's wellness or illness, and it's the balance or the imbalance, and it's about manifestation. If we can manifest the health, we can manifest, we are the one who actually manifest the illness as well. So it's our own eating habits, our lifestyle, which is the main root cause of all the problems, especially in today's world and today's life, where we are too much into the modern electric cookings, as mentioned by emphasizing on the traditional cooking ways, is so important, considering to eradicate the root cause of any kind of problems, issues, or conditions, or you can say the illness. So where epigenetic is placed in all of this, I would reiterate and emphasize on why I'm talking about the genes, because we call it as an autoimmune condition, which is relative with genes and genetics. So what epigenetic is, like, its role in the reversal of the type 2 diabetes, and how, whether we can change the genes. The answer is no, but I will go in detail like after. So this is like the summary of like what I'm going to talk about, like with the perspective of epigenetics and on the health and the disease, which I call it as illness. And the role of diet in epigenetics, as I said, like it may be a sum up of all the talks that have been done so far. So I'm feeling happy that I'm coming in the last, like nearly at the end of the session. So because I will be talking about reiterating what's been already been discussed, like about the lifestyle factors and what are the Ayurvedic herbs and the epigenetic effects, like considering the autoimmune condition and how the stress management can be done with a mind-body connection in diabetes management, and what are the challenges like we are facing in today's world in integrating these epigenetics and Ayurveda, and what are the future directions, which we were saying. And Dr. Naveen Gupta ji just mentioned about okay, what is our future direction? So I was smiling, talking about all this, but this is, here we are, introduction to the epigenetics and type 2 diabetes. So exploring the nexus of genes and lifestyle. Even though you can read all these slides like after, but what I'm going to get to the crunch of the thing, like epigenetics mainly refers to the modifications that alter the gene expression without changing the underlying DNA sequence. So you can alter the expression without, and modify the expression without altering the genes. So influenced by environmental and the lifestyle factors, which has already been discussed. What are the lifestyle factors that can be incorporated? So the overview of type 2 diabetes, even though in Ayurveda we call it madhume, like madhu means honey, sugar, sweet, metabolic disorder. Again, it's a disorder. It's not a disease. Metabolic disorder characterized by insulin resistance and high blood sugar levels, often linked with obesity and the lifestyle choices. So what's the connection between the epigenetics and the diabetes reversal? So the emerging research suggests that epigenetic modifications can potentially reverse the pathological features of type 2 diabetes through lifestyle interventions. So when we talk about epigenetics, as I said, like it refers to the changes in the gene expression without altering the DNA sequence. And so the environmental factors and the lifestyle and diet can influence the gene expression. So it's like, as we understand that it's the insulin resistance and the high glucose level and inherited genetics. What are genes? Like inherited DNA sequences. So when we look at the DNA strands, we look at like two strands. So one is static, another strand is dynamic. So the static one is the genes or the genetic inheritance from your parents or grandparents that comes as a genetic or autoimmune or like hereditary condition when you develop because of having checking the hereditary history or the genetic history in the family. So that is the DNA, one strand, which is static. Then another one is dynamic, which is epigenetics. So inherited DNA sequences, which is TCF7L2, the gene linked to the diabetes risk. Epigenetics, modifiable factors like diet, stress, environment, influencing the gene expression. So, can we change our genetic destiny? That's the question. And epigenetics and the reversal of the type 2 diabetes. So, DNA methylation and histone modification can turn genes on or off. So, to give you a simple example, the dynamics of epigenetics, that DNA strand, we use the metaphor of the light switch, which can be turned on or off on pressing. So, that expression can be modified and can be altered with the lifestyle changes, which is the diet, exercise, and stress management, which can reverse the insulin resistance. And the studies have shown that epigenetic changes in the diabetes remission. So, when we go on Ayurvedic perspective on health and the disease, which is, we say, swastha or aswastha. Swastha, swasthasya swasthya rakshanam, aturasya vikara prashamanam cha. So integrative approaches for the well-being. So when we follow principles of Ayurveda, Ayurveda emphasizes harmony between mind, body, and spirit, promoting health, swasth, to maintain the health through balanced living and natural healing methods. And the concept of balance and homeostasis, which a lot of people don't pay attention to the homeostasis. The Ayurvedic notion of doshas promotes the idea that health is maintained through balance within biological systems and the environmental factors. So the biological systems is what we call as the tripods in the body. So balancing those, which is Vata, Pitta, Kapha. Vata, Pitta, Kapha. So we create a balance by balancing these biological aids or elements or systems in the body along with the environmental factors, which is our lifestyle. So Ayurvedic perspective, it's caused because of the imbalance, mainly because of, like we say, to some extent, all the three are imbalanced, but mainly it's Kapha and Vata that are getting imbalanced, and are considered more focused, on when people are trying to create a balance in the body and trying to create a reversal to this. So they focus on restoring the balance through the diet, herbs, and the lifestyle. So the personalized or the patient-centric approach is taken, and a personalized treatment is based on the individual's prakriti. And then we look at the vikruti first. Vikruti is the imbalance. Prakriti is by nature what you have inherited genetically from your grandparents. So that's your prakriti, or the balance, which is out of either the dual Vata, Pitta, Kapha, or the single one. So it could be either or. But then Vikruti is the imbalance that's manifested because of our own eating habits and lifestyle. So that's aswastha. That's like an illness that creates illness. And then we in Ayurveda, through Ayurveda, emphasize is all on prevention and the holistic healing. So we do that by incorporating the herbs, changing the lifestyle, and reducing the stress, managing the stress. I always say manage the stress. You can't eradicate the stress completely, because stress is such a factor that even gives us inspiration to some extent to do something. So we all have, every single individual have some level of stress. But when that level goes above or beyond that certain level, that's when it becomes like a problem or the illness, and develop certain illnesses because we couldn't manage the stress at that time. So here we go. So Ayurveda's approach to epigenetics or to the chronic diseases, as we advocate for the individualized treatment plans and consider both internal and external factors and influences on our health, especially chronic conditions like diabetes. So when we talk about Ayurveda practices, again, we reinforce, I can't reiterate more, diet, yoga, meditation, whatever, even Garima was mentioning, social groups, socializing, like, support groups, like, or like, especially reducing the stress by changing the diet and lifestyle factors. So influencing epigenetics, the holistic approach to physical and mental well-being, stress management techniques, physical activity and its effects, sleep and circadian rhythm, getting adequate sleep is essential. And sleep doesn't mean that you have to sleep for a certain, it's not about the quantity, how many hours you sleep. It's about the quality sleep. Herbs such as like turmeric, ashwagandha, fenugreek, and all that can be incorporated. And the mechanisms of action, we know the active compounds within these herbs engage in molecular interactions that can modulate gene expression and promote overall health. Then emerging scientific research supports the epigenetic benefits of Ayurveda herbs, validating their role in diabetes management. So by concluding, like, I really would say, like, we need to take mind-body connection in diabetes management, like managing the mental and the physical aspects, like, and incorporating and integrating Ayurvedic practices for the mental health, for the overall impact on the overall health, and which will help us like in reducing the stress and promoting positive epigenetic outcome, aiding towards the diabetes management and the mental health significantly, like, in anxiety and stress, they can alter the epigenetic markers, necessitating the holistic approach. And this is just like our future direction, emerging studies, potential for personalized medicine, convergence of epigenetics into individual health profiles indicates, which Dr. Naveen was talking about to Arunji, a future of tailored treatment strategies that consider genetic viability and methodology of integrating. So the genes doesn't change. That's my final kind of like thing. Without changing the genes, you can alter the expression. And my last one statement, which I say as a metaphor, and I use it like genes are like, genes load the gun, but lifestyle pulls the trigger. So
Yes.
that's my last statement.
Yes.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, and all have a wonderful good afternoon. Thank you. Thank you very, very much.
Yes. Thank you, Vanita ji. And now we'll proceed.
Thank you, Vanita.
You're welcome.
Just your slides are still visible.
Sorry. Yeah. I'll
Thank
just stop there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And
You
we'll
most welcome.
definitely proceed further for the interdisciplinary clinic for diabetes, certainly. And now I welcome here Dr. Uday Kulkarni. He has completed his BMS and MD with gold medal, and even he has done his diploma in business management, MBA in hospital management, and very innovative kind of Ayurvedic doctor from India
practicing for last 32 years and ready with some blackboard, whiteboard, sorry. So new concepts, and I'm sure he will complete his presentation within 8 minutes, because he has to now, he's a chess master also. So we'll position our further plans in a proper manner according to our mentor Arunji rightly, and he will enlighten us with the concept of detox basically. So how the things can be changed, programming need to change, and how to change it. Dr. Uday, over to you.
Thank you. So let me begin. Being a physician for last 32 years, we have come across a lot of things. And one of the challenges which, just like Dr. Vanitaji said, that genes cannot be changed in this individual. But definitely we can change future generations' genes. And that is the power of detox and panchakarma and Rasayana. That is Ayurveda, where everybody is looking to that if we are fighting the menace of diabetes, we have to understand that somewhere we further this particular treatments to the next level. And I'm going to just say a few words about it. That we can change genes in the future generations if we intervene at the right point in preconceptional married couple who are thinking of going in for the kids. And definitely we have certain evidences right from our ancient texts, just like we know Raghuvamsha Mahakavya, where the couple, the king couple, went to ashram and then served Nandini and changed their entire lifestyle. We have such beautiful evidences, and we just sometimes have to look back that they did all this to see that their future generation, it was for infertility also, and it was for the future generation, and see the beautiful kid they had who ruled the world. So that is the power of Ayurveda. And I'm going to just say a few words. What I have written here is treatment. If we can treat diabetes through detox and panchakarma, Vaman, Virechan, Rakta Mokshan, the stage busters are Shirodhara and Abhyanga. These are basic things which we can work out for the treatments. Then we have prevention. Some pre-diabetic patients we get, and we have to do prevention in pre-diabetics. There again, the things are done on a yearly basis. In treatment, it is done on a monthly basis. In treatments, we have to focus that the patient comes under control, his diabetic medicines are withdrawn, and he's uh, having maintaining his proper lifestyle, then he can work out in a different and better way. So when we are talking about treatment and prevention, prevention is particularly for pre-diabetics. And treatments is somebody who already has different levels of blood sugar. He may be on some medicines. It could be Indian medicine. It could be the regular conventional medicine. We can take him off those medicines by tapering the medicines, having proper monitoring. But when we are talking about proactive management, it is for the young generation who have history in their family. Maybe their parents are having, maybe they have certain lifestyle which is giving them trouble. Again, Panchakarma comes into play, and we can use detox and two special treatments which are part of Panchakarma are Nasya, and along with that, there are different bastis. These two treatments are going to be game changer from Panchakarma for the entire world. If we have to change something in the hormonal tree, Nasya is going to help us. And if we have to treat the metabolic diseases, Basti or enemas are going to make a big role. And these two things, mind you, are used for different conditions at different levels. So these things are also acceptable worldwide because they don't depend on any basmas or any of the medicines which may be prevented or prohibited, or these are not the interventions in general. These are things which are DIY kind of things. So patient can come down to you, get those Nasya bottles, get those Basti pouches, and do it at their places. The medicines which we have been developing since last at least 18 years are focused on these reversal things. So I feel these are the things which we have to understand and move ahead. And when we are thinking of predictive, something which is more than what the world is expecting, and that is changing the genes. Genes modification is possible not only by the mutation of a nuclear bomb, but it is possible with some simple exercises from yoga, like controlling your mind, controlling your spirituality. Along with that, we can definitely have something preconceptional that will change the scenario for the future generations. I am here only to give you a hint of what can be done. These are the things which can be done worldwide, and IIS can take it further for US and other parts of world. We are here to serve you in India through our consultations and through whatever we have in our capacity to help you. And I think I am within my time. Thank you.
Thank you. Great. Excellent.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we'll take it from if to that's the whole idea to take it to Western countries for sure. We'll take that up.
Thank you. So nicely within time, you have completed the presentation. That is because we need to move further with our panel discussion too. And here the main, I can say the sutradhar or the idea behind the show, Dr. Vijay Pratap Kushwaha. And I always feel proud to introduce him as I've been knowing him since the college days while doing the BMS. And since then, he was very enthusiastic with innovative ideas, different concepts, and taking the group together. That leadership quality I've been observing since my college days. And I've seen him doing lot many social cause, means taking up the social cause and doing public health programs from many years. He has completed his BMS from Mumbai University, and again he was the first to travel to Western countries for Nadi Parikshan, and he is a very good Nadi Tadnya I've ever met. And he is a proud director of company Ayurveda, manufacturing different herbal compositions for different things. And I can add one more thing that I have seen reversing my even relatives with his Ayurveda medicines, reversing the diabetes, and that is really impressive. So he has many experiences in field of diabetes, cancer, autoimmune disorders. During COVID period also, lot many medicines, innovative ideas came up by Dr. Vijay Kushwaha. So I will request him to share some of his experiences, and let us take this to the further step, this webinar, to the evidence-based science. That is the need of the era. And Dr. Vijay Kushwaha, here all platform for you to share your wisdom.
Yeah, thank you, Madhura. I'm closely working with Arun Bhai since 2018, and like I have learned a lot of things, and like my wholehearted efforts are there for IIS. So, like we are already, like too much time, like people are waiting for us. So the topic, yeah. So the first slide is, like everybody is worried. I'm just sharing my experience. So first question is it hereditary? Like a lot of people think that if diabetes is there in the family, like they take it for granted that they are going to get this disease. So I'm the living example myself. In my family, my mother, my father, like everybody has got diabetes. So in my opinion, I don't believe that diabetes is hereditary. Only thing we have to, like suppose somebody has got diabetes in heredity, they have to observe their parents, like what mistakes they were doing, whether it was diet and lifestyle, whether it was, like their habits and other things. If we avoid that, we can be definitely keep diabetes away from, like coming to us. So, like all the speakers have, like covered diet and lifestyle. One very important line, like, like if everybody, not only diabetics, if we start replacing carbohydrate with fruits, nuts, and vegetables, we'll be able to avoid diabetes, blood pressure, cholesterol, and a lot many lifestyle disorders. And in my practice of last 35 years, the previous slide only, just by for a minute, the previous one, yeah. So me, like if we just replace carbohydrate with fruits, vegetable, nuts, vegetable, and fruits, then the millets are a very good substitute. Like if we replace wheat and rice with millets, I think like 90% problem is solved. And millet is not only good for diabetes, it is good for every disease. And like with my experience, I can say that even if we take one meal made out of millets, so like you can keep diabetes under your control. And the most killing thing is like sugar and jaggery. And many people have got misunderstanding. Like especially in India, they think that jaggery is good. So I just want to convey that there's only difference of color. Sugar is white and jaggery has a different color. Palm jaggery, to some extent, it doesn't increase your sugar levels, and date syrup also. Jaisal, next slide. Yeah, see, these are now, see, everybody, it's very difficult. The people who are fond of food, who cannot control their lifestyle, or, undisciplined people only, like most of them who get diabetes, they are, their lifestyle and, is not under control, or they don't want to come under control. So even for that, there is solution. So these are two, like Gudmar, that is Gymnema sylvester, and fenugreek. These are the proven herbs with all the scientific studies available nowadays, that it can activate beta cells of pancreas. And there is a product, like from fenugreek, saponins and protodicins ratio combination has proven that, like 3 to 6 month use of that combination can bring HbA and Ac levels normal within 3 to 6 months time. And a lot of studies are available on that. Next slide, Jaisal bhai. So these are the supplements, like, now all these herbal supplements are available. So if we are taking any of this, or one or two of this, like Shilajit, Goduchi, Haldi, and Ashwagandha, that can keep, like keep you healthy in other sense also, and keep you away from diabetes. And if you are diabetes, it will definitely help you in getting reversal out of it. Okay, and see, this is a tried recipe which everybody can do it in house. It can reverse. It is reversing diabetes and hypertension successfully. Like only thing, we have to have one amla, fresh amla juice. Like we just take one amla, and then half spoon of ginger paste and half spoon of garlic. Mix this with 1 glass of warm water. And first thing in the morning, say around 6 o'clock in the morning, you just start taking that in 3 to 6 months. I will like to thank everyone, all the speakers and all the visitors also who has joined this webinar on our request. And this is just the beginning. We will take it forward. And now with these words, thanking IIS and Arun Bhai for giving this opportunity. Thank you, Madhura, for moderating this webinar in such a nice manner. Dr. Ashlesa, for your very nice presentation, and everybody was so. I'll tell you, I cannot say use kind. Like you people were so prompt and positive. Like when I proposed, everybody, you people agreed to join it. And most importantly, my big brother Naveen Bhai Saab, who is has been always an inspirational source, and he is into teaching and practicing Ayurveda in Europe and UK for so many years. And it's now we all are we all have done for ourselves, our family, our kids. Now this is the time we should return back to the society, to the nature, to the world. And then with IIS and Arun Bhai, I think our dream will come true. And I, on behalf of all my friends and many more, will join Arun Bhai with on this platform in IIS. We promise you that as expert, as knowledge holders or technical workers, we will be always there with you in your venture in our best of capacity. Thank you very much, everybody. And with these words, I
conclude.
I conclude my talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It means a lot. I can't thank you enough, actually. I can't express that. It's not only the time, I think it goes beyond that. I see the value in the involvement. That's a big thing. And that makes all the difference in the world. So that is extremely valuable. And again, I'm very grateful for that. And there's no stopping. I'm very clear about that. Nothing can stop us. That's the approach we take. We have got total conviction. We are very strongly placed, as I told you. We are very well positioned. So we are connecting all the dots from every area in every angle, entrepreneurship, philanthropy. So that is going to be an explosive combination. So thank you again.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
Yes, it was nice and interaction. And I feel, yes, this is a start of, it's the first step towards new paradigm change. Rightly, Dr. Naveen said, and many of them has given different insight today that the microvascular regeneration in the cell, a simple thing, insulin resistance, that's what happened in diabetes, and we can prevent it, arrest the growth in pre-diabetic stage, right? With the diet, proper stress management, with the mineral applications, and even the nice thought of epigenetics. So all together with interdisciplinary action, we can prevent cell to get destroyed with certain attacks of all these complications of diabetes, and we can support positively, not only cure or destroy the disease, but even with the positive health. That is very important, because it's not only absence of the disease, but it's a real health and happiness. So any questions? I think we plan for panel discussions and question answer session. So Dr. Vijay, what do you say? Shall we stop here with the new concept, and we can repeat the panel discussion or?
Yeah.
Because
You
already
can
1
invite
hour.
Jaisal Bhai. You can invite Jaisal Bhai for vote of thanks, and he can because he's seeing the back end. He can see whether there are some questions from the audience.
Okay, Jaisal Bhai, I request you to.
Yes. So everybody in the audience has thanked us for this amazing webinar and a lot of insights. There are not any specific questions here, so we can conclude. And yes, it has gone a little beyond our normal time that we had gauged, but these are so valuable inputs, and these discussions, I think, asks for more time. And I think we should be able to next time gauge this and have a little more organized. And I would, from IIS and backend, apologize for any technical issues anybody has faced. We are also learning, and we are also trying to make this a more routine thing. Arun Bhai will be coming back on me after this call ends on a lot of back pointers. So we will work on it, and I am sure like next one will be much more easier for everybody to navigate through. And this is like amazing. I would say thanks, Dr. Vijay, for initiating. And earlier when he introduced this idea, we were not very sure where it is moving, but looks like this is an amazing opportunity for whoever has been participated and who would be now watching these videos, which will be posted on YouTube and other social media. So thank you, everybody, esteemed speakers, and Arun Bhai. I think you want to just conclude it with your last words here.
Yeah, this is just the beginning. So today we set the direction. So now we are putting on the track. So now the momentum will begin, but this start was as good as it can get. So it was a combination of everything: involvement, commitment. So it was a knowledge base, so which is very rare combination. So it was a great fusion. So we are going. Next step will be the integration, implementation, and we'll be on fast track. You can count on me for that.
Yes. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
So
Thank you, Arun.